Oh.
Yeah.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because
The View is completely toxic unless you are someone they like. Whoopi just crossed the line again by attacking a very young child.
One of the worst mass murderers in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political violence that has led to 2 heinous assassination attempts.
Whoopi is a very evil woman, and she should be sued for at least $100 million. How vile can anyone be to go after a child?
Attempts on the former president's life. His opponents reached out to him and said they do not accept political violence. That has been a key difference. I do want to play you.
No, please. His opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 assassination attempts. The second attempted assassin on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment.
The billionaire Elon Musk is well known for being protective of his family, and he does not intend to allow the matter slide easily.
In here, Caroline Levitt, she's fantastic. Where is she? She is fantastic. Wow. You are something. I watch her on television just ripping people's hearts out. Thank you.
Countless lives have been ruined by their opinionated remarks. Compared to Elon Musk, what contributions to our society has The View made?
The president said he won't speak.
Yeah, thank you. Can you direct traffic? Yeah, thanks.
Let's act like adults here. They are generously offering their time to answer your questions. You don't need to scream at them like a bunch of school children. We just go ahead.
Who in the world talks trash about a child? Whoopi has sunk to the lowest, bullying a 4-year-old on national television.
somebody who's encouraging your kid to read is not.
Right.
It freaked me out.
She should have been fired immediately. Yet Whoopi spits on stage and she thinks that's acceptable. Then Joy also joins in attacking. Now it's turned into a gang bullying mentality.
And the many actions that he took on day 1 in the Oval Office, he is delivering on that promise. And he is sending a very clear message to the rest of the world. If you are even thinking for a single second about illegally entering our country and breaking the laws of the United States of America, you will face consequences for doing so. You will be returned to your home country, and you will be arrested, and you will be prosecuted as well.
They should rename the show The Screech, because that's all you hear.
Still continue to receive that. However, it is the responsibility of this president and this administration to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. That is something that President Trump campaigned on. That's why he has launched DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, who is working alongside OMB. And that's why OMB sent out this memo last night, because the president signed.
Whoopi should have spent less time eating someone whose name is Whoopi. Criticizing someone else's name is laughable.
An executive order directing OMB to do just this. And the reason for this is to ensure that every penny that is going out the door is not conflicting with the executive orders and actions that this president has taken. So what does this pause mean? It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New Scale.
She is clueless about reality. The View might survive, but for how long is the question.
Individual assistance, you will continue to receive that. And President Trump is looking out for you by issuing this pause because he is being good steward of your tax.
Whoopi and her gang are a non-factor, trying to remain relevant.
And here's the reason why Elon Musk and others have been taking a look. Because if you look at the waste and abuse that has run through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplace.
When the debate is lost and over, insults and accusations become the norm.
$50,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk...
Their opinions are of no value to anyone. Everyone loves entertainment, but these people are vile. Do they ever have a kind word for anyone?
His dad truly is a new low for even the women of The View. They decided to bully a child instead of actually listening to what Elon was talking about, listening to the millions and millions and millions of taxpayer dollars that he's finding that have been wasted, or maybe even worse, as we just heard in...
It's one thing to attack Elon, it's another to attack his kid. They are now reaching at low-hanging fruit. They have truly run out of things to complain about. Instead of being outraged at the party they supported during the election for wasting untold amounts of taxpayer dollars, they instead are vilifying the guy who is uncovering the waste and making fun of his kid in the process. Feeble minds will do what feeble minds will do. She reads a script for a living and will be remembered by no one, whereas Elon Musk has sacrificed and made real contributions to humanity.
For me, I have a lot of faith in the American people. And I don't know very many men who want to be talked to the way that this man has been talking to men in his audience. I don't know any women, and I know his grandchild was up on the thing, and they're trying to humanize him and change your idea about who this guy is.
We all know that little X already has an IQ surpassing the combined IQ of these cackling hens.
Don't fall for that.
Trump, he's talking about. He's talking about Trump.
Whoopi will attack anyone and everyone, but never looks at herself. She needs to look in the mirror sometimes. In fact, all of the time.
When you think about, say, a news story about something that you know well, and say how accurate is that news story about something that you know well, then I think you'll find that, well, it's actually not very accurate. Well, that's true for everything. There's sort of a desperate quest for clicks.
The View has hit rock bottom, and they know that the gravy train is pulling into the last stop.
And the more crazy the headline is, the more clicks it will get. This is not to suggest that there aren't true things said by the media. It's just that the media is best thought of as a click maximizing machine, not a truth maximizing machine. I think it's best to look at the words that somebody says themselves.
The View thinks that they can speculate what is going on as actual verbatim and not worry about the consequences. It's about time they find out the consequences of their actions.
27 years old. She's got a lot of experience.
Yep.
I think she's an old soul. She's run for Congress. She narrowly lost the 1st Congressional District in New Hampshire. She worked at the White House before. She worked at Fox for a time as well. I thought she did a terrific job and no shortage of things to talk about in this first briefing.
Yeah, she worked as a deputy for our colleague.
It's about time someone makes them accountable. ABC needs to recognize how toxic their rhetoric is.
And former Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany has a lot of experience with the press, ran from Congress, as you mentioned, and of course was a press secretary for the campaign. So she is well seasoned to take on this new task. She did a great job, covered a ton of topics, and it's great to see that the room was packed full of reporters who have to love this. I mean, if you were a White House press secretary...
Instead of being an entertainment show, they have become a show of fear-mongering, outright lies, very left-leaning diatribes.
Important to bear in mind, traditional media is a competitor to Twitter. So they compete for your advertising dollars. They compete against Twitter for your advertising dollars. If it is possible for them to diminish Twitter and reduce the probability of advertising dollars going to Twitter, it's like, basically you shouldn't take a competitor's word for it.
She doesn't represent any American values. She represents some minority group's interests.
So far, the current White House has declined to weigh in on any moves from the incoming administration, and a Washington Post op-ed is asking if the sudden silence from a lot of what they feel are vocal Democrats is a sign that the resistance against MAGA is fading out.
She is not connected to major Americans. She is an outlier. They need to answer for all their lies.
Transportation Secretary Chief Pete Buttigieg, he has a different message about moving forward. Take a look.
We cannot be mesmerized by the worst things that we see happening. We will be inclined to react with shock.
It's not about the money, it's about shutting them up.
By some things which are done precisely with the intent of shocking us. We need to move very quickly through the shock and condemnation into identifying what exactly has to be done. And that requires a more tactical mentality.
And they're also saying a lot of Americans still are overcoming the shock by taking a breather over the holidays and planning to get back.
They are liars and just bash whoever they want. There has to be consequences.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
The View needs to be taken off the air. No one cares if they express their opinions, but they either lie or skew the truth. There is no integrity.
Remember back in the happier times for MAGA when Trump triumphantly descended down the escalator to announce he would make America great again? And remember how he'd have planes flying and crowds going wild at his rallies? Well, that was then. This is now. Okay? Watch.
Fellow citizens, America's comeback.
Whoopi needs to learn by experience that free speech is not freedom to slander.
Like a defeated Mussolini sort of guy, you know? Yeah. And by the way, the pillow guy was one of the bigger names in attendance. There were no GOP bigwigs there. The only one who was there was Madison Cawthorn, who's not even in office anymore.
Yes.
He showed up. It was so sad. My heart breaks for poor Donald.
She needs to realize freedom of speech has limitations for irresponsible people who choose to twist the truth or outrightly lie about people with opposing views.
No, exactly not. Look, The View, it's like the island of misfit toys. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. President Trump has made it clear. We will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first. And that's what the focus will be. And there's over 1.5 convicted criminal aliens in this country with final orders removal that we're going to be looking for. There's thousands of gang members, illegal alien gang members we're going to be looking for.
The View is the source of a lot of misinformation. Unfortunately, a lot of people take the clowns on the show seriously.
I'm in some other country illegally. I'm not going to be comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable either, because when you enter this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You are a criminal, and you're not off the table.
These crooks feel invincible and say the most outrageous lies almost all the time. They should be held liable for defaming people at will, and intentionally too.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna work my ass off for you guys. I really will. So, and yeah, but I'm super fired up for the future. It's going to be very exciting.
Whoopi honestly thinks she is smart. She is simply pathetic. It seems to be a thing with celebrity. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and watch the next video.